What if the reason your manifestations aren't landing is because your emotions don't feel safe enough to receive them? Your moon sign isn't just about moods or comfort, it's your subconscious frequency. It holds the emotional programming that either magnetizes what you want or repels it. You can affirm abundance all day, but if your moon is still wired for fear, scarcity, or survival, your energy will contradict your intentions. In this video, we're going to explore how each moon sign reveals the emotional frequency your manifestations respond to, the subconscious patterns keeping you stuck in lack or delay, what your inner child actually needs to feel safe enough to receive, and how to rewire your emotions for alignment, ease, and flow. So grab your birth chart, find your moon sign, and let's unlock the emotional frequency that finally makes your manifestations land.
Aries moon carries a frequency that's fire first, soul led, and emotionally unfiltered. You were born to feel fast, move boldly, and live with intensity. Your heart doesn't tiptoe, it dives in. You don't wait to be chosen. You're here to claim your desires with courage, initiate new timelines, and embody emotional leadership. You manifest best when you're in motion, when your emotions have somewhere to go. Your frequency amplifies when you are actively claiming what you want, even before it fully makes sense. The universe responds to your willingness to leap before there's a net. It rewards your instinct to move toward your desires, not analyze them to death. But Aries moon doesn't manifest well in emotional cages. When your fire is suppressed through shame, second guessing, or external expectations, you become emotionally disconnected. You act out instead of aligning. You chase quick highs instead of soul truths. You weren't made to wait your turn. You're here to manifest through initiation, not permission. Because Aries moon equates safety with control, your default survival mode is over-functioning. When you're emotionally dysregulated, you try to make things happen before your nervous system is ready to receive them. You chase clarity. You force outcomes. You decide you'd rather do everything alone than risk needing anyone. This creates a manifesting loop. You call in lessons instead of blessings. You attract people and patterns that match your internal urgency instead of your soul's desire for peace, passion, and progress. The most common Aries moon manifestation blocks includes reacting from survival mode instead of soul alignment, feeling unsafe when things move too slowly, believing softness equals weakness, and mistaking conflict for passion and peace for boredom. You loop because your subconscious thinks success requires a fight. But manifestation doesn't respond to panic. It responds to presence. You're here to lead the manifestation process with your emotional bravery. When you name what you want with confidence and act on it without waiting for applause, the universe rushes in to meet your energy. Aries moon magnetizes through unapologetic momentum. You manifest powerfully when you take aligned action without seeking external validation. When you express your desires clearly and without apology. When you move energy through your body, through sweat, sound, and movement. And when you make bold decisions based on your emotional truth, not logic alone. You were born to create breakthroughs, not wait for breadcrumbs. Manifestation is your birthright, but only when you believe you're allowed to go first. Your healing begins when you no longer feel the need to prove your power. You're not here to constantly fight, fix, or figure it out. You're here to remember that your instincts are divine and that the calm within you is not weakness, but wisdom. The first step to achieving this is to slow down just enough to feel. You can't out-hustle your emotions. Let your tears, rage, or truth move through you before you make the next move. Ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? Practice being in the pause without punishing yourself for it. Stillness isn't stagnancy, it's soul strategy. Next is to honor your need to initiate. Permission is not required. Identify one aligned action you've been holding back on and take it today. Let desire lead, even if it feels messy or undefined. Trust that the first step will unlock the next. Your courage is your confirmation. Next is to stop fighting what wants to support you. Independence is powerful, but interdependence heals. Let people in without assuming they'll slow you down. Ask for support before you hit your breaking point. Reframe receiving as an act of trust, not weakness. You don't have to carry it all to deserve it all. Next is to rewire your nervous system to trust peace. Not everything powerful has to come with a fight. Track where your nervous system equates nothing's happening with danger. Create rituals of stillness that feel grounding, not suffocating. Practice feeling worthy of ease, quiet wins, and slow, steady growth. Peace is not a punishment. It's proof of alignment. And finally, let the inner warrior choose a new battle. You're not here to fight your emotions. You're here to follow them. Notice when you're bulldozing your own truth to get over it. Choose softness as a strength, especially in your self-talk. Remind yourself, healing isn't a race. It's a reclamation. The bravest thing you can do is to feel it and still believe in your power. A great affirmation for your Aries moon is, my emotions are valid. My courage is magnetic. I create miracles by acting on what feels true. If your soul just got a wake-up call, be brave and share it in the comments. And of course, love on this video with a like, spread the magic to your friends, and subscribe so the universe keeps sending you these vibes. And if your emotions have been running the show instead of fueling your dreams, it's time to flip the script. My Moon Manifesting course shows you how to work with your moon, not against it. So be sure to tap the link below to start syncing your energy with the universe's flow. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Taurus moons hold a frequency of stability, embodiment, and sensory wisdom. You came here to feel safe in your body, rooted in your values, and emotionally nourished by consistency. Your heart craves rhythms that feel real, relationships that feel steady, and environments that mirror your inner peace. You manifest best when your nervous system is calm and your body feels safe. When you trust the enoughness of the moment. When you show the universe that your life is already worthy of expansion because you're not trying to force it into happening. You're simply creating space for it to grow. But Taurus moon doesn't manifest well in emotional chaos. When your foundation feels shaky, or when your worth depends on something outside of you, you cling instead of create. You freeze instead of flow. You try to build a life of safety around you while feeling unstable within. You're here to remember, alignment creates abundance, not the other way around. Because Taurus moon fears emotional instability, your subconscious tries to stabilize by gripping tight to the known, even when the known is no longer nourishing. You hold on to what feels familiar because letting go feels too vulnerable. But manifestation doesn't bloom in stuckness. It requires movement, expansion, and trust. This creates a manifesting loop. You crave growth, but fear change. So you manifest slow, inconsistent results, or feel like nothing's happening at all because your energy is locked into survival mode instead of receiving mode. The most common Taurus moon manifestation blocks include subconsciously tying worth to output, money, or stability, clinging to what's comfortable even when it no longer serves, distrusting change even when it's aligned, and believing rest, softness, or stillness must be earned. You loop because your heart wants safety, but your subconscious thinks it can only have that through control. You're here to magnetize abundance by being a living embodiment of it. When you radiate peace from the inside out, when your values match your actions, and your body feels like a safe home, you draw in everything meant for you with ease. You manifest powerfully when you take slow, aligned steps that feel nourishing, not rushed. When you ground your energy in nature, body care, and sensory rituals. When you cultivate an internal sense of, I am enough, regardless of external proof. And when you focus on quality over quantity in your goals, relationships, and desires. You weren't born to chase your blessings. You were born to become the kind of person they actually gravitate towards. Your healing begins when you stop confusing familiarity with fulfillment. Just because it's always been this way doesn't mean it's still aligned. You are allowed to want more, change direction, and rebuild your version of safety from the inside out. The first step to achieving this is to reclaim your right to be still without stagnating. Stillness can be fertile. Practice pausing without assuming you've fallen behind. Notice where your fear of change is rooted in old pain, not current truth. Give yourself full permission to rest, not as a reward, but as a requirement. Your next miracle might be waiting in the space you keep trying to fill. Next is to redefine safety as something internal. You can't outsource stability. Ask yourself, where in my life do I feel most at home in myself? Then build from there. Start anchoring in practices that remind your body it's safe to receive. Affirm, I don't have to do more to deserve more. The more worthy you feel now, the more naturally your life expands. Next is to stop clinging to what no longer nourishes you. Security doesn't mean staying stuck. Identify one habit, relationship, or belief you're holding on to out of fear. Ask your heart, is this truly feeding me or just familiar? Create space for something new by lovingly releasing the old. Releasing doesn't create loss. It creates room. Next is to let your body lead the manifestation process. The more safe you feel in your body, the more receptive your energy becomes. Engage your senses through scent, sound, touch, and taste. Create rituals that bring beauty and calm into your daily space. Focus on how your goals feel, not just what they look like. When your nervous system feels safe, your manifestations flow faster. And finally, build a life that honors your natural pace. You don't need to hustle to prove you're worthy. Define success on your own terms, not society's. Take consistent action from alignment, not pressure. Let life unfold with beauty and slowness, like a blooming garden. Your abundance isn't rushing, it's ripening. A great affirmation for your Taurus moon is, I attract aligned abundance by feeling safe, rooted, and worthy just as I am. What part felt like I was reading your charts out loud? Be sure to tell me in the comments. And of course, give this video some love, share it with your soul tribe, and subscribe for more magic. And if you've been feeling disconnected, drained, or stuck in cycles, you're not crazy. You're out of sync with your moon. My moon manifestation course is your roadmap back to flow, magic, and emotional power. Be sure to check out the link below to start manifesting with your emotions, not against them. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Gemini moon carries the frequency of thought as creation. You came here to learn that your emotions are shaped by the narratives you tell yourself, and that your thoughts, words, and self-talk directly affect your reality. You crave intellectual stimulation, open dialogue, and the freedom to ask questions without judgment. You manifest most easily when your mind is clear, your heart feels heard, and your energy is in motion. Movement, mental, emotional, or physical, helps you process, release, and reset. Your subconscious doesn't need emotional perfection to manifest. It needs internal coherence between what you say, think, feel, and believe. But Gemini moon often forgets that overthinking is not the same as alignment. The subconscious begins to block manifestation when the mind becomes a maze, second guessing everything, narrating from fear, or intellectualizing emotion instead of feeling it. You're here to remember, clarity is what calms your chaos, and aligned language is what calls your desires in. When your emotions aren't met, Gemini moon doesn't cry. It copes. It detaches, analyzes, distracts, and jumps to the next thought. It talks about feelings without actually feeling them. This creates emotional static, and that static interferes with manifestation. Your mind may be saying, I'm ready. But if your body is buzzing with anxiety and your heart hasn't caught up to your thoughts, your manifestation frequency is misfiring. The most common Gemini moon manifestation blocks includes repeating affirmations you don't feel are true, shifting desires too often before they materialize, getting stuck in planning, learning, or researching mode, seeking outside validation instead of trusting your own insight, as well as masking emotions with humor, distraction, or logic. You loop because your mind is moving faster than your emotions can process. And manifestation happens in the body, not just the brain. You're here to manifest through language, through choosing the words that tell a new story, through creating emotional fluency and curiosity instead of judgment. Your magic isn't about knowing everything. It's about being willing to question everything that isn't aligned with your truth. You manifest powerfully when you align your inner dialogue with your desired reality. When you speak your intentions clearly, playfully, and confidently. When you let your curiosity lead your healing, not your fear. And when you engage in creative self-expression that helps your heart feel seen. You weren't born to manifest through perfection. You were born to manifest through resonance. When what you think, say, and feel begin to match. Your healing begins when you learn to trust your emotional instincts, not just your intellectual reasoning. You can't think your way into alignment. You have to feel your way there. Your mind is meant to help translate your emotions, not override them. The first step to achieving this is to rewire your inner narrative. Your words are spells. Pay attention to the stories you repeat, especially about your self-worth, love, and timing. Replace phrases like, "I don't know how," with, "I'm learning to," or "I'm open to." Journal to uncover hidden beliefs beneath your daily self-talk. Your manifestations are shaped by the language you believe in. Next is to get emotionally fluent, not just verbally articulate. You can't heal what you won't name. Learn to name what you're feeling, not just what you think. Practice checking in with yourself and ask, what does my body need right now? Be curious about your emotional reactions instead of dismissing them. Clarity doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from feeling more honestly. Next is to break the loop of endless thinking. Mental momentum doesn't equate emotional alignment. Notice when you're spiraling in over-analysis and lovingly interrupt it. Move your body to release anxious loops. Replace what if worry loops with what if it works out visualizations. A clear mind is a magnet. A busy mind is a block. Next is to anchor in one desire at a time. Gemini moon energy is multi-dimensional, but too many tabs open dilutes the signal. Choose one key area to focus your intention. such as money, self-love. Write it down in detail, then read it daily to reaffirm your alignment. Stay in playful engagement with your goal, not pressure or doubt. When your energy is scattered, your results are too. And finally, express to expand. Your words are portals to new realities. Speak your desires aloud in the mirror with emotion. Write letters from your future self, already living what you desire. Use poetry, music, or conversation to give form to your feelings. When your heart and voice match, your manifestations flow faster. A great affirmation for your Gemini moon is, my thoughts are clear, my words are aligned, and my heart is ready to receive. What's the one part you're still thinking about? Be sure to leave it in the comments below. And of course, tap that like button, share the vibes with your friends, and subscribe so the stars always find you. Your moon sign is your manifesting cheat code. Once you learn how to sync your emotions with the universe, you'll never chase again. Be sure to tap the link below to start tuning your feelings into frequency with my moon manifestation course. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Cancer moon carries the emotional frequency of homecoming. You came here to manifest through inner safety, not strategy. Your superpower is your sensitivity, your capacity to care, and your deep knowing of what's truly nourishing for the soul. Your energy naturally attracts what feels like belonging, because your subconscious is always searching for places where your heart can finally exhale. You're here to manifest from feeling, not from logic, not from performance, not from control. But the secret is, you don't manifest from any emotion. You manifest from the ones you trust enough to fully feel. And for Cancer moon, that's the catch. Because when safety is threatened, your subconscious retreats. It closes the door, shuts down the heart, and hides away in past memories for protection. This blocks the frequency of receiving, not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is on emotional high alert. The key to your manifestation power is reconnecting with your inner mother, the part of you that soothes your fear, softens your tension, and whispers, it's safe to receive. Cancer moon doesn't chase, it clings. Not because you're needy, but because your subconscious confuses familiarity with safety. That old job, that toxic pattern, that emotionally unavailable person. They don't feel good, but they feel known. So your moon latches on. because known pain can feel safer than unknown possibility. Some of the most common ways that a Cancer moon can subconsciously sabotage manifestation is holding on to outdated desires because they once made you feel safe. Manifesting people who need you rather than love you. Shrinking your dreams to avoid emotional risk. Clinging to nostalgia that blocks your forward flow. And believing that needing help makes you weak or unworthy. Your manifestation block isn't about lack of power. It's about fear of losing the little bit of safety you've built. But the safety you seek isn't out there. It begins inside your own emotional frequency. You are a living, breathing portal of manifestation when you feel secure in your body, grounded in your worth, and connected to a life that nurtures you back. You don't manifest through hustle. You manifest through heart. Cancer moon naturally attracts abundance by aligning your desires with what makes your inner child feel held. By softening your pace, deepening your rituals, and listening inward. By allowing support, care, and comfort to find you without guilt. And by treating your needs as sacred, not selfish. You attract miracles by being the first person who emotionally shows up for you. When your energy feels safe inside your own skin, everything you've been waiting for comes home to you. Your healing isn't about becoming stronger emotionally. It's about becoming safer with your softness. Cancer moon energy doesn't need to grow a tougher shell. It needs to remember that your sensitivity is your strategy. The first step to achieving this is to create inner safety before external strategy. The body is the foundation of all manifestation. Start each morning asking, what do I need to feel safe today? Ground into your body with warmth, baths, soft clothes, comforting spaces. Practice self-soothing instead of self-judgment. When your nervous system feels held, the universe hears you clearly. Next is to break the trauma loop of clinging to familiar. You don't owe loyalty to your past pain. Gently notice when you're reaching for what feels familiar but depleting. Affirm. Familiar doesn't mean safe. I choose what's actually good for me. Don't confuse intensity with intimacy. Learn to trust emotional calm. You manifest best when you feel free, not when you feel needed. Next is to nurture your desires like seeds. Cancer moon is a gardener, not a chaser. Visualize your dreams growing roots, not running after them. Write down what each of your desires emotionally gives you. Tend to your manifestations like a sacred home. Check in with them. Love on them. When your dreams feel emotionally supported, they begin to bloom. Next is to learn to receive without earning. You are not a transaction. Track every way life always supports you. Friends, nature, your breath. Practice receiving compliments, rest, help, and pleasure without guilt. Shift from what do I need to do to what do I need to allow. The more loved you feel, the more love you attract. And finally, reparent your emotional body. Your moon needs a mother, and that gets to be you. Sit with your feelings like you would a child. Curious, calm, and compassionate. Speak to your fears the way you'd comfort someone you love. Let your softness be your superpower, not your shame. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to be present with yourself. A great affirmation for your Cancer moon is, I am safe, I am supported, and I allow life to nourish me in every way. Let's make this a full circle moment and share your biggest aha or ouch in the comments. And of course, hit that like button, send this to someone who needs it, and subscribe for more star-powered clarity. You're not too emotional. You're just not using your emotions the way the universe designed you to. My Moon Manifesting course is your roadmap back to flow, magic, and emotional power. Be sure to tap the link below to unlock the power your moon's been holding all along. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Leo Moon was born to shine. You are emotionally wired for visibility, validation, and being received as the full expression of who you are. Manifestation for you is an act of soul theater. It requires heart. When your inner world feels inspired, admired, and affirmed, you become magnetic. People feel your frequency before you ever speak. You don't just wish, you broadcast. But the twist is that your manifestation frequency is powered by self-adoration, not applause. You are meant to manifest from inner celebration, not outer approval. And if that approval gets confused with identity, your emotional field gets thrown out of sync because your energy is trying to perform instead of receive. Your moon needs to feel proud of you, not because you've achieved enough, but because you had the courage to honor your own light. Leo Moon was programmed to believe that worthiness is earned, that you must show up, show off, and shine first, and then you'll be chosen, loved, or safe. But that flips your true manifesting power upside down. When your subconscious is still chasing approval, you start manifesting from your wound, not your wisdom. You start attracting opportunities where you perform more than you receive. You draw in partners who love your image, but not your essence. You create success that looks shiny on the outside, but feels lonely on the inside. And you feel like your desires have to be deserved through perfection or popularity. You came here to create from overflow, not overdrive. But when your moon doesn't feel emotionally acknowledged, you start outsourcing your glow, which leads to inconsistent manifestations that are hot, cold, and ultimately unsatisfying. Your manifestation magic lives in your unapologetic self expression. You are not meant to dim, shrink, or second guess your brilliance. You were meant to trust your light enough to let it lead. Leo moon energy is a reminder that happiness isn't frivolous, it's fuel. You attract powerfully when you create from your inner child, not your inner critic. When you allow yourself to be emotionally seen, raw, real, radiant. When you remember that being loved and being worshiped are not the same. And when you act like your dreams are already proud of you. Your moon doesn't need a spotlight. It is the spotlight. And when you feed your emotional world with awe, artistry, and affection, the universe bends toward your boldness. Your healing is about reclaiming your creative emotional truth. Leo moon doesn't manifest through humility. It manifests through honesty about what you want, what you feel, and what makes you come alive. The first step to achieving this is to remember that you are already the main character. You don't have to earn your place in the story. Practice mirror affirmations. Look yourself in the eyes and speak love. Treat your daily life like a stage for self-devotion. Dress, speak, and move like you matter. Affirm your presence without needing applause. When you validate yourself, your energy becomes unmistakable. Next is to heal the fear of rejection that keeps you small. You were never too much. Others just weren't ready. Notice when you're censoring yourself to stay likable. Journal. Where did I learn that being seen was dangerous? Reclaim your right to take up emotional and energetic space. You manifest what you believe you're allowed to be seen having. Next is to channel your inner child's creative genius. Desire is your birthright, not your burden. Do one thing each week just because it excites you. Create without the outcome in mind. Dance, write, paint, perform. Ask your inner child, what would be fun right now? Play is not a distraction. It's a direct line to divine manifestation. Next is to nourish the parts of you that don't feel chosen. No one can take away the spotlight meant for your soul. Speak your needs and celebrate your emotions, even the ones that feel unlovable. Surround yourself with people who don't just see your light, they hold it sacred. Practice being adored by you first. When you know your own magic, you stop settling for being tolerated. And finally, reclaim the frequency of deserving without proof. You don't need a reason to receive. You just need readiness. Let go of proving, perfecting, performing. Sit with your desires and affirm, of course, this is for me. Learn to radiate before results arrive. When your energy is proud of itself, the universe responds with blessings that match. A great affirmation for your Leo moon is, I honor my light. I trust my heart. And I magnetize abundance by being all of me. What hit home for you? Drop it in the comments. I'm listening. And of course, give this video some love, share it with your soul tribe, and subscribe for more magic. The universe responds to your emotional vibration. Learn to tune to it, not tame it. My Moon Manifesting course teaches you how to align your moon sign with your manifestations. So be sure to tap the link below to step into the frequency your soul's been craving. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Virgo moon holds one of the most attuned emotional frequencies in the zodiac, one that's constantly scanning, sensing, analyzing, and refining. You were born with the nervous system wired to detect what's out of alignment, and a heart that quietly asks, how can I make this better? At your core, you crave emotional safety through order and integrity, both internally and externally. Chaos feels threatening. Uncertainty feels like failure waiting to happen. So you cope by trying to perfect the process, editing yourself, fixing what feels off, or striving to stay ahead of discomfort. The problem is, your inner world never truly rests. There's a quiet perfectionism buried in the emotional body of a Virgo moon. Not always loud, but relentless. You may not identify as a textbook perfectionist, but your subconscious holds the belief that only when things are clean, clear, and under control will they be safe enough to trust. Your emotional equilibrium is maintained through rituals, routines, and responsibility. But the danger is that you end up replacing intuition with performance. Virgo moon doesn't just want things to work. You want them to feel right. You're emotionally sensitive to disharmony, to inefficiency, to energy that's misaligned or inconsistent. So you work overtime to fix, improve, serve, heal, often at the expense of letting yourself be nourished. The truth is that you don't have to earn emotional peace. You were born to embody energetic devotion, the kind that magnetizes miracles, not through force, but through aligned frequency. Your moon manifests most powerfully not when you're in control, but when you're in right relationship with what truly matters. Virgo moon is deeply conditioned to believe that safety comes from managing outcomes and perfecting behavior. And this creates a manifesting loop rooted in anxiety, hypervigilance, and exhaustion. You try to do everything right so the universe will reward you. You manifest opportunities where you're helpful but invisible. You feel safe in routines but secretly fear freedom. You hold back your deepest desires because they feel unrealistic or not practical enough. You attract people who mirror your own self-judgment. Virgo energy can get so focused on being ready that it forgets you're already worthy. So instead of quantum leaps, you manifest tiny, careful steps. Not because you're small, but because your moon has been programmed to fear chaos, unpredictability, and being unprepared. You weren't meant to hustle for healing. You were meant to embody sacred service, where your presence itself becomes medicine. Virgo moon manifests powerfully when your energy feels clean, aligned, and intention-led. When you're tapped into purpose without overextending. When you trust that rest is just as sacred as productivity. And when you remember that healing is not your burden, it's your birthright. Your emotional world becomes magnetic when it's no longer micromanaging the universe. You are meant to lead with frequency first, not function. And when you do, the universe sends you exactly what you're prepared to receive, not just what you worked for. Healing for Virgo moon is about learning to trust the wholeness in the process. You don't need all the answers. You need to feel emotionally safe enough to let life surprise you. The first step to achieving this is to release the addiction to getting it right. You don't manifest through perfection. You manifest through presence. Journal. Where do I still believe I need to prove something before I receive? Practice messy manifestation. Write desires that feel too big or illogical. Let your healing be sacred without being scheduled. The more you surrender control, the more miracles can land. Next is to redefine what being of service means. You're not here to be useful at the expense of being whole. Ask yourself, am I giving from love or fear? Stop equating sacrifice with value. Give yourself the same grace and support you give others. Your presence is enough, even when you're not performing. Next is to make peace with the chaos you can't control. Your power is in your response, not in preventing mess. Create rituals for emotional regulation, not emotional suppression. Say this daily. I allow space for the unknown to bless me. Trust that the universe honors your devotion, not your discipline. Order is not a prerequisite for receiving. Openness is. Next is to invite in ease without guilt. You're allowed to want things just because you do. Practice saying yes without justifying why. Rest without earning it. Watch how much resistance shows up and soften it. Let yourself be surprised by how easy your manifestations can feel. You're not lazy. You're learning to let grace do the heavy lifting. And finally, soften the inner critic and build a new inner voice. Your emotions are not problems to solve. They're messengers of readiness. Replace "what's wrong with me" with "what needs more love right now." Track your emotional triggers, then speak to yourself with reverence. Ask your inner child what they're tired of trying to fix. You deserve a nervous system that feels safe to receive joy. A great affirmation for your Virgo moon is, I honor my wholeness, not just my effort. I am open, aligned, and worthy of ease. Let me know what clicked for you and drop it in the comments. And be sure to hit like if your chart feels seen and send it to someone who needs this clarity. And of course, be sure to subscribe for your next cosmic reality check. You've mastered mindset. Now it's time to master energy. My Moon Manifesting course helps you align your emotions with abundance so manifestation becomes your natural state. So be sure to check out the link below to start reprogramming your emotions into attraction energy. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Libra Moon holds the emotional imprint of relational intelligence. You were born with a nervous system that craves equilibrium, not just in your environment, but in your emotional exchanges. You feel safest when the energy between you and others feels harmonious, respectful, and mutually attuned. This is the moon of mirrors. You subconsciously scan your environment for emotional feedback. Do they approve? Do they feel comfortable? Is everything okay? Over time, this creates a loop where your emotional safety becomes dependent on whether the people around you are at peace. And when they're not, you work overtime to restore the balance. Libra Moon is elegant and poised on the outside. But behind that grace is often an over-functioning heart. One that internalized early on that love must be earned through agreement, appearance, or making others happy. And so you shapeshift. You smooth things over. You defer your own needs in the name of peace. But the hidden truth is that your moon is trying to teach you that emotional alignment starts within you. When your inner world is out of sync, when you're suppressing your own emotions to keep the vibe nice, manifestation gets blocked. You start attracting connections and experiences that reflect that imbalance. Your emotional glow up doesn't come from being everything to everyone. It comes from reclaiming self-honoring over self-editing. When you allow your own truth to take up space, even if it causes disruption, you free yourself to receive love, money, and success that's rooted in authentic resonance, not performance. Libra moon was likely raised in an atmosphere where harmony was prized and conflict felt dangerous. So you learned to become the peacekeeper. You picked up on everyone else's energy, anticipated what they needed, and gave just enough to yourself to stay liked, needed, or safe. But of course, that came at a cost. You began outsourcing your worth to relationships, needing others to affirm your goodness before you could feel emotionally secure. So you became agreeable, likable, maybe even admired, but emotionally empty. Because no one was really seeing you. They were seeing the version of you you thought they wanted. This is the glow up sabotage. You manifest something great, but you question if you deserve it. You want love, but fear losing yourself inside of it. You crave peace, but abandon your truth to maintain it. This moon sign can get stuck in energetic neutrality. Not too much, not too little, afraid to fully own what you want because it might disrupt someone else's comfort. But alignment isn't about comfort. It's about clarity. When you stop asking, will they be okay if I choose this? And start asking, will I be okay if I don't? Your entire frequency shifts. You magnetize with more power than you realize because your moon already knows how to read the room, feel into nuance, and create beauty in all forms. But when that power is redirected inward, you stop manifesting through obligation and start manifesting through energetic elegance. You attract what you desire when you make decisions based on alignment, not appeasement. When you let your aesthetics, taste, and intuitive logic guide your brand, home, and lifestyle. When you show up with honesty, not just grace, trusting that you can be both kind and real. And when you use your relational gifts to create spaces of mutual value, not one-sided service. Libra moon doesn't need to over-explain, over-function, or over-give. Your stillness, your softness, your self-awareness is the strategy. You were never meant to orbit other people's comfort. You were meant to co-create relationships, environments, and opportunities that reflect truth, not just temporary peace. The first way to step into emotional congruence and manifest with alignment is to release the fear of being too much or not enough. You're not here to be palatable. You are here to be present. Let your truth be known, even when it risks disapproval. Trust that your emotional clarity creates stronger bonds, not weaker ones. Unhook your worth from others' perceptions. Your glow up begins when you stop editing your energy to keep others comfortable. Next is to start choosing what feels beautiful to you, not just what looks good. Not all aesthetics are created equal. Some are performative. Yours are personal. Redesign your life around what nourishes you. This includes spaces, people, and values. Let your Venusian gifts be used in service of your truth, not your image. Use beauty as a mirror of alignment, not perfection. Beauty that's aligned becomes magnetic. Beauty that's forced becomes draining. Next is to practice radically honest receiving. You don't have to barter emotional labor for love, money, or peace. Say yes when you mean it, and no when you don't. Let others meet you in your truth, not your emotional neutrality. Receive support without offering a return gift of perfection. Real peace comes when you don't have to betray yourself to feel safe. Next is to decenter, keeping the peace as your main identity. Your nervous system may have been trained to equate peace with safety, but your soul craves truth. Stop over-prioritizing being diplomatic if it's costing you clarity. Discomfort isn't danger, and silence isn't harmony. Your presence doesn't need to come wrapped in perfection. It needs to come with honesty. You don't have to be the calm in everyone else's storm. You are allowed to stir the waters if it brings truth to the surface. And finally, let yourself be loved without performing. You don't need to win people over. You don't need to soften your power or smile through tension. The more you relax into your unfiltered self, the more magnetic you become. Let others fall in love with your realness, not your refinement. Your emotional glow-up begins when your approval doesn't come at the cost of your authenticity. A great affirmation for your Libra moon is, "My truth is worthy of harmony. I receive by being real, not agreeable." Let's make this a full circle moment and share your biggest aha or ouch in the comments. And of course, your 3-second ritual: like, share, and subscribe to keep this energy coming your way. You don't have to fix your emotions to manifest. You just have to understand them. My Moon Manifesting course shows you how your moon sign creates your reality. So be sure to check out the link below and learn how to turn emotional chaos into cosmic clarity. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Scorpio moon holds the emotional blueprint of sacred intensity. You were born with an internal world that runs deep, sensing everything, trusting little, and craving an emotional experience that feels powerful enough to transform you. This moon doesn't do surface level anything. Your feelings either mean everything or they mean nothing. This placement is wired for energetic truth. You can feel when someone is lying before they say a word. You know when the energy in the room shifts, even if no one speaks. You can't be sold surface when your soul is scanning for depth. And so, you protect your emotional energy like it's sacred, because it is. But that level of sensitivity can create a fortress. Over time, you start to believe that vulnerability equals danger, that to be emotionally honest is to lose control, and to trust is to risk devastation. So you manifest from behind the walls. You want intimacy, but you don't reveal. You crave success, but fear being seen in your weakness. Your moon is here to teach you that manifestation isn't about control. It's about energetic congruence. When your inner world is still holding on to betrayal, abandonment, fear, or shame, the universe mirrors that. But when you alchemize your pain into presence, your emotional magnetism becomes unstoppable. This is the moon of the phoenix. You are here to rise, not by bypassing your wounds, but by transmuting them. Your glow up doesn't come from avoidance. It comes when you stop hiding how much you feel and start honoring the power in that depth. Scorpio moon likely grew up in an environment that didn't feel emotionally safe, whether through trauma, betrayal, or simply feeling too much for the people around you. You learned that your feelings could be used against you. So you shut down. You mastered the art of silence, secrecy, and staying one emotional step ahead. But that emotional armor comes with a cost. When your trust is gone, so is your openness to receive. You might chase empowerment, love, or success, but not truly let it in. Because a part of you believes it won't last, or that it will come with a price. So you reject before being rejected. You isolate when you most need connection. You self-protect to the point of emotional starvation. This is the glow-up sabotage. You manifest something powerful, but you question the motive behind it. You attract someone honest, but assume there's a hidden agenda. You get the opportunity, but wait for it to fall apart. When your subconscious is still bracing for loss, betrayal, or disappointment, it interrupts your ability to trust abundance when it arrives. But you were never meant to manifest through control. You were meant to manifest through alchemical trust. The kind that says, even if it ends, I still rise. When you stop needing guarantees and start trusting your emotional instincts, your whole life changes. Scorpio moon has a supernatural gift for turning pain into power, for feeling the undercurrents no one else acknowledges. When you use that sensitivity as a tool, not a prison, you become magnetic. People are drawn to your presence, your depth, your ability to hold what others can't name. You attract what you desire when you let go of the need to control outcomes and embrace emotional surrender. When you share your story, your truth, and your transformation as a gift, not a weakness. When you use discernment as a compass, not a shield. And when you ground your intensity in purpose, so your energy empowers instead of implodes. You don't need to be easy to read, but you do need to be energetically available. Your power doesn't come from being invincible. It comes from being real. You are not here to suppress your intensity. You are here to honor it and use it as a vehicle for transformation. The first step to achieving this is to stop equating safety with control. You don't need to anticipate every betrayal to stay empowered. Hypervigilance isn't intuition, it's exhaustion. Learn to differentiate between instinct and fear. The more you trust your ability to recover, the less you'll need to overprotect. You don't have to micromanage the universe. You just have to trust yourself to rise, no matter what. Next is to practice vulnerability without overexposing. Sharing doesn't have to mean spilling everything, but it does mean letting people in enough to witness you. Your healing begins when your truth is acknowledged, not just by you, but by others who can hold it without judgment. You don't heal by being invincible. You heal by being witnessed in your resilience. Next is to transmute emotional pain into creative or spiritual power. Your moon is a portal for alchemy. Use it. Channel your grief into growth. Turn your betrayals into boundaries. Let the old versions of you die so something deeper can rise. Scorpio moon is a sacred shapeshifter. You are meant to evolve. Your story doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Next is to release the fear that intimacy equals loss of power. You can be bonded and still be sovereign. Let love be a collaboration, not a conquest. Let support in. Let emotional nourishment flow to you. You are not weaker for needing. You're human. You don't lose your power by letting someone in. You lose it by pretending you don't care. And finally, let yourself receive without testing it first. You don't have to prove anything to be worthy. You don't have to test people to see if they'll stay. Let the blessings land without interrogation. Let the softness soothe you without suspicion. Trust isn't being naive. It's magnetic alignment with what you desire. A great affirmation for your Scorpio moon is, my depth is my power. I trust what's real. I release what's past. And I receive what's true. Let's talk about it. What did this unlock for you? be sure to comment and let it out. And if you love what you heard, be sure to like this video, share it with those you love, and subscribe so the algorithm and the universe keep delivering. And you've mastered mindset. Now it's time to master energy. My Moon Manifesting course helps you align your emotions with abundance so manifestation becomes your natural state. So be sure to check out the link below to start reprogramming your emotions into attraction energy. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Sagittarius moon was born to roam emotionally, intellectually, and energetically. This moon sign thrives when it feels possibility. It needs something to believe in, something to reach for, something that keeps the spirit wide open and unchained. Emotional safety isn't about comfort, it's about growth. When you're learning, evolving, or inspired by a bigger vision, this moon feels safe. You came here with an emotional frequency wired for optimism, higher meaning, and forward momentum. But underneath that high vibe exterior, there's a very real sensitivity to feeling trapped, judged, or disillusioned. When your world starts to shrink, whether through toxic dynamics, self-doubt, or emotional repression, your soul panics. You didn't come here to survive life. You came here to explore it. Manifestation isn't about controlling your feelings. It's about aligning with their truth. And Sagittarius moon's truth is emotional expansion. You attract what you want when you live from the wisdom of your lived experience, not just the ideas in your head. When you emotionally believe something is possible, it becomes magnetic. But the catch is that if you don't feel emotionally free, your glow up gets stuck and you start self-sabotaging without even realizing it. Your deepest fear is emotional limitation. Whether it's being boxed in by others' expectations or stuck in your own negative loops, the Sagittarius moon rebels when it senses restriction. So instead of sitting with discomfort, this moon often escapes through travel, work, beliefs, humor, or planning the next big thing. But the truth is, manifestation requires presence. You may unconsciously block yourself by staying in constant motion, never staying emotionally long enough to feel what needs healing. Or you may adopt spiritual beliefs that make pain feel like failure. So you mask your emotions with affirmations instead of transformation. This moon is famous for toxic positivity when unhealed, bypassing pain with "it's all happening for a reason," rather than sitting with what's real. That avoidance becomes an emotional short circuit that subtly repels what you're trying to manifest, because your inner world and outer intention are out of sync. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe in the direction you're going and emotionally walk with yourself through every step. You manifest what you want when you stop running from discomfort and start mining it for meaning. When you trust that your emotions aren't obstacles, they're guides. When you let your spiritual beliefs evolve with your lived emotional experience. When you give yourself permission to want more without guilt. And when you reclaim your joy as a healing frequency, not a mask. You're here to show others that freedom isn't found in escape. It's found in authenticity. That your feelings don't make you less wise. They make you real. You don't need to earn emotional safety through perfection or productivity. You just need to feel your way into alignment. You don't have to choose between your big dreams and your big feelings. Your healing lives at the intersection of truth and trust. The truth of what you're really feeling and the trust that you can handle it without running. The first step to achieving this is to stop believing that negative emotions kill your manifestation. You're not broken because you feel fear, grief, or doubt. You're not blocked because you have off days. You are human, and your emotional honesty is what upgrades your vibration. Spiritual growth isn't about being positive 24/7. It's about learning how to hold space for the full range and still choose alignment. Next is to rewrite the story that you're only safe when you're on. This moon often internalizes pressure to be the light, the optimist, the motivator. But you are allowed to rest. You're allowed to be the student again. You're allowed to not know. You are worthy of receiving, even when you're not producing, proving, or performing. Next is to feel the emotion before you turn it into a lesson. This moon loves finding the meaning, the silver lining, and the takeaway. But slow down. Let the emotion move through you before you analyze it. Sometimes the wisdom is in the feeling itself. You don't always need a breakthrough. Sometimes you just need to break open. Next is to practice freedom with structure. Your soul needs open skies, but manifestation also requires presence. When you're too boxed in, your energy feels dull. But when there's too much motion, you scatter your magnetism. The key is giving yourself space to breathe intentionally. So schedule a weekly wander day, a few hours where nothing is planned, but everything is allowed. So whether it's taking a solo walk, browsing a bookstore, journaling without prompts, or going on a spontaneous drive, the goal is to reconnect with your own rhythm. Let your energy lead. No guilt, no outcome needed. And finally, turn your wisdom into a daily anchor. Sagittarius moon holds profound insights, but sometimes you forget to embody them. When emotions feel overwhelming, Your mind jumps ahead to the lesson. But healing happens when truth becomes a felt experience. So write a short mantra that reflects what your soul knows is true and say it aloud every morning. Not to fix anything, just to remind yourself of who you really are. For example, my joy is sacred. My truth is magnetic. I trust where my spirit is taking me. This grounds your emotional expansion into a daily felt frequency. A great affirmation for your Sagittarius moon is, I trust my emotions as divine direction. I am safe to feel, to grow, and to follow my joy wherever it leads, because my spirit always lands on purpose. This is your cosmic check-in. Be sure to drop your thoughts and takeaways in the comments. And if your chart's been nodding along, be sure to hit like, share the love, and subscribe so we can do this again. And you don't have to fix your emotions to manifest. You just have to understand them. My Moon Manifesting course shows you how your moon sign creates your reality. So be sure to check out the link below and learn how to turn emotional chaos into cosmic clarity. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Capricorn Moon carries the emotional blueprint of the builder, the one who finds safety and control, structure, and competence. You feel most at peace when life makes sense, when your world feels organized, and when you can depend on yourself. This moon doesn't like chaos or vulnerability without purpose. You were conditioned to equate stability with strength and emotions with weakness. But beneath that composure is a heart that learned responsibility too soon. Maybe you were the one who had to keep it together for others. Maybe love was something you earned through performance, success, or composure. Over time, that turned into an emotional contract of, I'll be valuable if I'm strong. I'll be safe if I don't need anyone. Capricorn moon energy often builds walls disguised as boundaries. You may have learned to suppress your emotional needs to maintain control. And while that's helped you survive, it also keeps your manifestations on pause. Because manifestation requires receptivity. It requires surrender, not as weakness, but as trust. Your healing begins when you realize that vulnerability isn't a threat to your power. It's the portal that deepens it. Capricorn moon can sabotage its own manifestations by trying to earn what was always meant to flow. You overanalyze timing, micromanage outcomes, and forget that the universe doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to energy. You may feel unworthy of ease. If you're not working for it, you question if you deserve it. But this achievement trap turns manifestation into a job instead of a state of being. You can't build your dreams from depletion. When you suppress emotion, you suppress magnetism. When you control everything, you leave no room for miracles. And when you numb yourself to pain, you also numb yourself to happiness, which is the very vibration abundance needs to find you. You are magnetic when you allow your emotional depth to coexist with your strength. Capricorn moon doesn't need to soften to manifest. It needs to feel safe in softness. You attract what you desire when you build stability from emotional alignment, not just external structure. When you lead with grounded authenticity instead of perfection. When you let your vulnerability be part of your strength. And when you create from devotion instead of duty. You manifest best when your goals aren't about proving your worth, but expressing your truth. Capricorn moon's true wealth is emotional authority. The ability to stay steady in chaos, yet open enough to receive divine support. Your healing begins the moment you realize that your value doesn't depend on productivity. You are allowed to be seen, supported, and satisfied, not just useful. The first step to achieving this is to redefine success as emotional security, not output. You've spent a lifetime chasing goals that feel enough. But what if security wasn't something you build? What if it was something you allowed? Before checking your phone in the morning, ask, what would make me feel stable today? Not what needs to get done. Create a success audit. Write down your top 3 achievements that had nothing to do with work or money, such as laughing, resting, or setting a boundary. And repeat, my peace is proof of progress. When you redefine success as calm confidence, your energy stops leaking into control and starts grounding into faith. Next is to let rest become a spiritual practice. Your soul expands when you stop making rest a reward. Schedule sacred stillness into your week, such as a night off, a quiet morning, or an hour with no agenda. Let peace feel productive. Next is to replace self-discipline with self-devotion. You don't need to push to be powerful. You need to care enough to stay consistent with love, not fear. So shift the tone. Before doing any task, ask, am I moving from pressure or purpose? If it's pressure, pause, breathe, and reset your intention. Create a devotion list. Instead of a to-do list, include actions that nurture your mind, body, and creativity. End your day by acknowledging one thing you did for yourself, not just for others. Self-devotion sustains success. Pressure only postpones peace. Next is to create emotional structure, not suppression. You don't need to collapse your walls. You just need to give your emotions somewhere to go. So try emotional check-ins. Write down what you feel before you start work. No censoring, no editing, just honesty. And finally, learn to receive without proof. Ease is not the opposite of achievement. It's the evolution of it. You've proven yourself enough. Now the lesson is allowing. Create a receiving ritual. So each night, name 3 ways life supported you today, such as a kind word, a moment of luck, or unexpected ease. And tell yourself, I no longer earn blessings. I align with them. Receiving is how Capricorn learns to trust that love and abundance are not performance-based. They're presence-based. A great affirmation for your Capricorn moon is, I release the need to prove my worth. My rest creates results. My calm is currency. If your soul just got a wake-up call, be brave and share it in the comments. And of course, your 3-second ritual, like, share, and subscribe to keep this energy coming your way. And your moon sign is your manifesting cheat code. Once you learn how to sync your emotions with the universe, you'll never chase again. My moon manifesting course shows you how your moon sign creates your reality. So be sure to check out the link below and learn how to turn emotional chaos into cosmic clarity. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Aquarius moon carries the frequency of emotional independence and visionary awareness. You were born with a heart wired toward objectivity, someone who can see patterns others miss, feel collective undercurrents, and translate emotion into insight. You process feelings through logic first, emotion second, because detachment was your earliest form of survival. You likely learned that being different came with distance. Maybe you were the child who felt like the observer rather than the participant. Too advanced, too sensitive, or too strange to fully belong. So you intellectualize your feelings to stay safe. Instead of feeling emotions, you studied them. You became the one who could hold it together, help others figure themselves out, and translate chaos into clarity. But your soul didn't come here to live behind glass. Aquarius moon's purpose is to integrate the heart with the higher mind, to bridge emotion and intellect, not favor one over the other. Manifestation only works when your heart and head are working together. When you detach too much, the universe mirrors back isolation. But when you let your emotions inform your vision, you become a living conduit for breakthroughs, community, and collective healing. Your emotional glow up begins when you stop trying to be understood by everyone and start allowing your uniqueness to move everyone. Aquarius moons often self-sabotage by confusing detachment with peace. You tell yourself you're fine when you're actually disconnected. You over-intellectualize your feelings, analyze your pain like a case study, and pride yourself on needing no one. But this emotional armor also blocks the intimacy and support your heart secretly craves. You might even manifest inconsistency in others, friends, or partners who pull away just when you start opening up. That's the universe reflecting your own push-pull pattern, the desire for connection that battles with the fear of being consumed by it. Your glow up gets delayed when you're stuck in observer mode. You can dream big, see the future, and envision change for everyone else, yet still forget to apply that same brilliance to your own healing. Aquarius moon has to remember your emotions aren't interruptions to your mission. They are the engine of it. When you let people feel your frequency instead of just understanding your ideas, your entire vibration expands. Aquarius moons are magnetic when they embody what they believe, not just when they talk about it. You attract what you desire when you let your individuality lead, even when it isolates you temporarily. When you express your emotions without editing them for comfort. When you use your intellect as a bridge for connection, not a shield against it. And when you share your experiences and ideas through community, art, or advocacy. You manifest best when you stop performing detachment and start practicing divine transparency, showing that being real is revolutionary. Your healing begins when you let your heart join the conversation again. You don't have to choose between intellect and intimacy. They were always meant to coexist. The first step to achieving this is to soften your need to understand everything. You don't have to analyze your feelings to justify them. When emotions rise, name it simply. I feel sad. I feel lonely. Not why you feel it. Allow it to exist without fixing it. Trust that your emotions are data, not problems to solve. You don't need to be logical to be safe. You just need to be honest. Next is to practice small, safe vulnerabilities. Emotional freedom doesn't come from walls. It comes from selective openness. Choose one person to share a real, unfiltered emotion with this week. Practice saying, I don't know, or that hurt me, without adding a joke or explanation. Let connection happen through imperfection. True belonging starts where your armor ends. Next is to anchor your vision in real emotions. Your ideas are cosmic, but your power grows when you ground them in feeling. Before visualizing a goal, tune into how you want to feel when it arrives. You can journal. If I fully felt this dream as already true, how would my body respond? Build your manifestations from that emotional blueprint, not just the idea. Your feelings are the frequency that give your vision life. Next is to create rituals of emotional check-in. Freedom doesn't mean avoidance. It means ownership. End your day by naming 3 emotions you felt most strongly. Identify whether each one was expressed, repressed, or redirected. Over time, you'll start noticing your emotional default settings, and that awareness sets you free. Emotional awareness is your new form of rebellion. And finally, let people love you without needing to earn it. You don't have to inspire people to deserve care. You just have to let them see you. Practice accepting compliments without deflecting. Let others witness you in rest, silence, or sadness, not just brilliance. Remember that people connect through humanity, not perfection. Your vulnerability is not a glitch. It's your gateway to belonging. A great affirmation for your Aquarius moon is, my emotions don't weaken my freedom. They deepen it. I am safe to feel, safe to connect, and safe to be seen in my truth. Your astro confessions are welcome. Tell me what resonated most in the comments below. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if it stirred something in you. Share the magic with your friends and subscribe to stay tapped in. And the universe responds to your emotional vibration. Learn to tune it, not tame it. My Moon Manifesting course teaches you how to align your moon sign with your manifestations. So be sure to tap the link below to step into the frequency your soul's been craving. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. The Pisces moon holds one of the most mystical, empathetic emotional frequencies in the zodiac. You were born with a heart that doesn't just feel, it absorbs. Your power lies in your emotional permeability, the way you tune into energy, attune to spirit, and trust your inner world more than the outer noise. You don't just visualize, you believe. You came here to manifest through surrender, to collapse timelines through faith, to call miracles not through action alone, but by becoming the frequency of what you desire. When you are emotionally aligned, you are magnetic. When you are spiritually safe, you're unstoppable. But your energy isn't meant to be open to everything. Pisces moon needs emotional filters. Not because you're fragile, but because you're powerful. Without discernment, your emotional field becomes overwhelmed with other people's doubts, pain, fear, and those energies start manifesting instead of your own. Your intuitive gifts are sacred. You are a natural channel, healer, visionary, and dreamer. You are here to show the world what's possible when you manifest from compassion, inner truth, and divine connection, not fear, pressure, or force. Because your moon craves transcendence, your default survival mode is emotional escape. Instead of feeling what's hard or asking for what you need, you disappear into fantasy. You convince yourself to wait for the right moment, the right person, the right sign. But deep down, you're scared your desires will never actually come true. This creates a silent contradiction. You say you want abundance, but your emotional body still feels safest in lack because it's familiar. You try to move forward, but your inner world is still grieving the past. You visualize growth, but you're unconsciously manifesting from the wound. Some of the most common Pisces moon manifestation blocks include romanticizing pain because healing feels too vulnerable, absorbing others' energy and mistaking it for divine truth, believing you must earn your dreams by suffering first, or escaping into potential instead of anchoring into the present. You loop because your subconscious associates safety with disappearing. But manifestation requires you to be here now. You manifest when you are energetically clean, emotionally clear, and spiritually connected. When your aura is your own, your channel opens. When you're creating from devotion, not doubt, the universe meets you halfway. You don't need to prove your worth. You just need to protect your frequency. You magnetize your desires by creating emotional or artistic experiences that awaken the soul. By channeling intuitive guidance into writing, healing, music, or movement. By letting your vision guide your decisions, not external metrics. And by surrounding yourself with beauty, softness, and spiritual reminders of truth. Pisces moon doesn't manifest from the ego. It manifests from emotional resonance. When your heart is clear, your manifestations move at the speed of faith. Your healing isn't about becoming less sensitive. It's about becoming more sovereign. You don't need to harden. You need to hone your emotional gifts. You need to protect your vision like a sacred seed. You need to stop leaking your power into people and patterns that distort your truth. The first step to achieving this is to reclaim the present moment. The dream can only meet you where you are. Journal on the parts of you still waiting for the past to change. Practice grounding rituals that keep you connected to your body. Create tangible containers for your visions to land. So, launch the offer. Share the writing. Take the step. Don't just dream it. Root it. Your future needs you to show up now. Next is to stop absorbing energy that isn't yours. Empathy isn't meant to be your prison. Start each day by sealing your aura and calling your energy back. Notice when your emotions shift around certain people and pause. Clear your energy field after client sessions, emotional conversations, or scrolling social media. Your sensitivity is a gift, not an invitation for energetic invasion. Next is to let it be safe to be supported. Your dreams don't need to be carried alone. Ask for spiritual and physical help, guides, mentors, friends. Receive without guilt, because you're not weak for needing softness. Invest your energy in sacred containers where you are held, seen, and supported. Support doesn't dilute your magic. It amplifies it. Next is to anchor your faith in action. Let your belief system become a blueprint. Set regular manifestation rituals that feel intuitive, not forced. Combine visualizing with follow-through. Even small, aligned actions count. Use your dreams as compass points, not hiding places. The more emotionally safe you feel to move, the faster your manifestations arrive. And finally, heal the inner mystic who was silenced. You were born to believe, not betray your magic. Reflect on the moments you shut down your intuition to be realistic. Rewrite your story around spiritual safety and divine support. Let your inner child know that their sensitivity was never wrong. You were not here to fit into the world. You're here to reimagine it. A great affirmation for manifestation with your Pisces moon is, my energy is clear. My spirit is safe. I manifest miracles by feeling them first. All right, your turn. What part called you out the most? Drop it in the comments. I want to know. And of course, be sure to hit like, send this to your besties, and subscribe so you never miss your cosmic upgrade. And you're not too emotional. You're just not using your emotions the way the universe designed you to. My Moon Manifesting course is your roadmap back to flow, magic, and emotional power. Be sure to tap the link below to unlock the power your moon's been hiding all along. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching.